Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. We're going to head to the SEC. We got a big one. We got undefeated Tennessee against undefeated Texas A&M. What do you guys think about this one? Tennessee, are they a team of destiny this year?
I don't think so. I just think they're way overrated at this point. I took a look at explosive plays, which are 25 yards in the passing, 20 yards in rushing. Despite Tennessee being favored in every single game they've played by big numbers in some of those games, they're only +1 on the season, which tells me they're not as explosive as what we expected this team to be. Texas A&M, on the other hand, is +12. I really like this Texas A&M team offensively and defensively. They've got playmakers on both sides of the ball. I think the Tennessee good luck runs out this week.
Ralph, this is like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde for Tennessee, because last year they were the complete opposite. They had big leads in games and were blowing the leads. This year, in 4 of their 5 games, they've had to come from behind to do so. It seems like once they fall behind, they finally start playing better. As I said, it forces Butch Jones to open up the playbook and let this team roll. And last week they had to do it again.
You know, it's the scary situation is this, that Tennessee's been doing that, and yet they've been a favorite in every game. You know, last week they ventured out on the road for the first time. They, of course, played Virginia Tech in the neutral game, but they got outgained against Virginia Tech. They got outgained against Georgia. They played their first road game last week. Now they're playing back-to-back road games. And while they have a senior team and you know, many returning starters, this is the first regular season meeting between these two. So none of these players have ever played at Texas A&M. You know, they're used to playing before 100,000 home fans. It's a little different going on the road and playing on Kyle Field before 100,000 12th man fans.
Yeah, and going back to last week, that was a bad spot for them playing Georgia. We talked about it last week. Would they be flat coming off of finally beating Florida after all of those years? And the fact that they did fall behind, got the lead, and then had to come back in last-second miracle play. Does that type of win, though, sometimes, have you seen where it just seems to catapult a team onto a streak when they get a game that they shouldn't have got?
Well, you look at Louisville. After they had the big games and they played Marshall, and they come out and just blew Marshall away. That was really impressive to me. Yeah. And those are the kind of teams you want to back. You know, we look at the South Carolina game last week against Texas A&M. That was clearly a letdown spot there, and I think South Carolina's defense is a little bit better than what people give them credit for. So I could see the little slip up for Texas A&M there. But now you got two teams on equal footing here, and that home field for Texas A&M is pretty strong. I'm not sure that Tennessee is going to be able to keep it going.
It's a great spot for me to interject a plug for our radio show that we do each week on SB Nation Radio, because I have a segment on there each week. It's called The Sandwich Spot. Mark, you know, we know I like to eat, and we do the sandwich game. In South Carolina was my sandwich spot game last week, because it was the perfect sandwich situation for Texas A&M off of Arkansas and with Tennessee on deck. And anytime you can get a overrated favorite, you know, in a look-ahead spot playing a defensive home dog like South Carolina, great situation. So check out our radio show each week, 8 to 10 on SB Nation Radio. Okay, the advertising portion's done. Let's get back to this game.
You just brought that up because you won.
What's the call numbers here in Vegas?
670 AM.
Thank you. The A&M situation, they rested 4 starters. Two starters would have been out last week against South Carolina. They actually rested 2 other starters, so that plays into your spot that they were looking ahead to this Tennessee game. And I see this game as a complete mismatch. Texas A&M is the only team in college football to beat 4 Power 5 teams already this year. They've had that tough schedule. They've taken care of business. Tennessee, again, has been a favorite in every game, a big favorite in 3 of those, and yet they've been outgained in 2 of those. I look at Tennessee traveling down to play who I have the number 14 offense of Texas A&M. Tennessee's previous best opponent this year was number 60 on offense. On the flip side, Texas A&M is playing Tennessee. This is about the middle of the road. They've played 5 teams. Tennessee falls right in the middle from the offensive talent and defensive talent they've already played. I think it's men against boys, second straight road game for Tennessee. They get exposed this week, and A&M covers.
All right, strong conviction from Ralph. You?
I agree.
All right, I'm going to be on the fence. I just hate the fact that Tennessee's been a favorite in every game. Now they're finally an underdog. They're supposed to lose. The pressure's off them because they're not, carrying that added weight. They do have an explosive offense if they let it go. Joshua Dobbs, we've yet to see a full, complete game from him yet.
Well, we talked about that in the past, and I said it's hard for these head coaches to change.
All right, let's see what happens. You got 2 votes for Texas A&M. I'm on the fence. And don't forget, guys, if you want to save $10 this week in honor of the New England Patriots and the return of Tom Brady, we're going to make the coupon code PATS and the number 10. That's PATS, PATS, and the number 10. We'll give you $10 off this weekend, any package at WagerTalk.com. We'll be back with more at Wager Talk.